If you haven't been living under a rock recently, you've probably noticed that a huge YouTuber, Abigail Thorn of PhilosophyTube, recently came out as a transgender woman. I don't want to go on and on about how socially or culturally important her coming out is, as many others have probably done by now. Her coming out is obviously important for visibility and representation, but I think most importantly for her own happiness. Her words really resonated with me, as I imagine they probably did for many of you, and I wanted to instead reflect on how some of the things she said really hit home for me. I don't think I actually watched any of PhilosophyTube videos before Abigail's two coming out videos that she recently did, but still, the YouTube algorithm knew to send me anything trans related. I do know that Abigail has been making videos for about 7 years and has a massive following of, I think, almost 1 million subscribers, so I figured I should at least watch these videos, the ones about her coming out. You know, her main coming out video and then her shorter, more abbreviated one. Abigail, or rather Abigail's words portrayed through an actor at the beginning of the video, drew me in pretty quickly with how she's talking about privilege and identity, the fact that the realness and legitimate worth of those with marginalized identities is constantly questioned by society. It made me think of one of the most common fears that I think many of us trans people have. Am I trans enough? I feel like there are many layers to this question, especially in relation to the things that Abigail said. Society constantly questions our legitimacy, and then we likely internalize that from the very start, or even before we start our transition journeys. Causes us to question the same things about ourselves that society questions about us. And then this idea of trying to fit a certain narrative, thinking we have to follow a certain path or look a certain way to be truly trans, an idea that I think is intrinsically tied to this pressure to pass. Our legitimacy as people is often graded on how well we can assimilate with the majority, with the cisgender majority in this case. Like, how well can I pass as a woman really has a big impact on how the world treats me in that particular situation and just in general. To many people, trans people only have value if they can't tell that they're trans. There's so much fear and uncertainty wrapped up in all of this and in just transition in general, so it's no wonder we constantly question and doubt. But despite all of this, many of us transition anyway. Abigail's words resonated so deeply with my reasoning and realization that I needed to come out. She said, if I don't change now, I don't know how much longer I'll live. I would regret not changing every day until the end. The number of times I had thoughts of not wanting to grow old as a man, not wanting to grow old and die in a body that didn't truly feel like my own, a body that didn't feel like home. And if I didn't transition, I would likely not even have the opportunity to ever grow old, because I truly believe I would have eventually succumbed to suicide. I don't know if I can really relate when Abigail says, in some ways, I'm sad to be leaving. Revisiting her earlier point about memory and how it shifts and changes and is fluid over time and how it's colored by emotion, I will admit it's hard to truly say where I stand on this, but I feel like I was scared to be leaving, not sad. Scared feels more accurate because I wasn't really sad to leave that old life behind, but scared and excited for the new life that was ahead of me. The future was uncertain and scary, but taking a chance was better than the certain deepening of my depression and eventual death if I didn't at least try. It would never change unless I did something, and Abigail, I feel like, captures this perfectly, saying, I wish I could just get on with it, but it's not the right job for me. But it's not a job. It's your whole life. The dysphoria, depression, and isolation would not be something I could just get on with. I had to make a change. I had to end the performance of trying to be someone I was not. Trying to be a man when in reality I am a woman. Going back to this point of being valued, being seen as real, being seen as legitimate, It's sad that Abigail has to say, "This is real. This is not a joke." But I know I had that fear, and I imagine many of you did as well, or maybe you're currently having that fear. We struggle to take our own transness seriously and worry that no one else will take us seriously either. Worry that people will invalidate us right back into the closet. But the fact that, just like Abigail, I never thought I could be so simply happy. Time and time again proves not only that transition was worth it and what I needed, but also that this is just who I am. I couldn't help but laugh and smile when she said, "I'm actually a woman." Cool. It's so simple, but so powerful. Like, I honestly think there's nothing more empowering and fulfilling than being able to be my authentic self every single day for the entirety of every single day. I want to keep this brief, but like I said, her words resonated so deeply with me, and it felt important for me to share why her words mattered to me on a personal level. Our journeys are uniquely our own, but there are also often so many similarities, especially on this whole aspect of feeling like a stranger in my own life, or feeling like I was constantly putting on a performance before I transitioned, before I fully transitioned. It's absolutely exhausting. But I feel like hearing Abigail's words, unfortunately a commonality to our experience, but also thankfully a commonality to our experience, and that we can form community around this. I also truly hope that Abigail's words, her story, her presence move not only me and other trans people, but also help cis people have more empathy for us. We just want to be able to live our lives and be ourselves while doing it. Be accepted for our shared humanity rather than ostracized for our differences. And I don't think that's too much to ask for. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you think of Abigail's coming out videos if you've had a chance to watch them? If not, I encourage you to go check them out and come back and let me know. Were you a longtime PhilosophyTube follower, or is this one of the first times watching a video of hers like it was for me? In what ways did her words resonate with you or your experiences, if at all? I'd love to hear all of this and so much more down in the comments below. And as always, Tipsy and I love you all and hope you're staying as safe and healthy and happy as you can. If you have not done so already, please be sure to give this a huge thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and notification bell. I love you all. Bye for now.